Hey, this is Duke Gromke, and I found something really fascinating as I was going through some Vemma reviews because I was doing research. Because what I do is I'm not actually a Vemma distributor or consultant or anything like that. I just help other people in Vemma or any other network marketing company and teach them how to better market their business so they can generate more leads and more cash flow and really just build their business to the size that they want. So I was doing some research and I was looking at the Vemma reviews, and they all pretty much said the same thing, that Vemma's an awesome company. They're very solid. They have great leadership, great products, good comp plan. And there really wasn't a strict reason for anyone not to get in Vemma and not to succeed in it. And, as I looked through it, the only reason that some people didn't succeed in it had nothing to do with the company itself. And this is almost an industry-wide problem. It just came down to the fact that they didn't have enough people to talk to. So what it came down to was, if you really want to unlock your Vemma business and build it to the size that you imagine in your head, then it comes down to leads, and more leads. It's all about having enough people to talk to. And that was just, as I read through it, and I looked after review, that was the main factor. Those that had enough people to talk to became the top producers. They knew that if they talked to 10 people or 20 people or 30 people, they had their own number where they would close out of 1 out of 10 or maybe 3 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 30. It didn't matter. They knew that if, I'm only bringing in one person out of every 10 people I talk to, well, if I want to bring in 5 people this week, I need to talk to 50 people. And as long as they had enough people in it, then they were successful and they would hit their marks whenever they wanted to. They knew it's just a numbers game. So that's what it came down to. And, other people, they just got tired of talking to their friends and family, and they didn't want to go out to malls and try and, talk to random strangers, strike up conversation and get their number. And they got tired of it, so they just didn't have success or they quit. So as long as you have enough leads, then you can be successful in Vemma and really any other company. Now, the interesting thing that I noticed, kind of the side effect from this, was that the fear of phone would disappear. It'd almost be gone for some people, because it gets rid of that mindset where you really put this heavy weight on whether this person says yes or no. It's a big deal to you. If they say no, then, you kind of see it as this, it's going to crush your business. But if you have 20 people waiting in line to talk to you, you really don't care what that first person says, where they say yes or no, because you know that you have 20 people waiting to talk to you about Vemma and about your business. In fact, you're trying to get off the phone with that person even quicker because you got 20 other people to call that day. So it's a very interesting phenomenon that happens, that your phone fear begins to kind of disappear in a sense. And it's all because you have enough people to talk to in your business. Now, if you're struggling with leads, what I actually do for my team, I'll just kind of share with you, and maybe you can get some benefit from it. But what I tend to do is I'll have them go through a couple of these trainings and really find a marketing strategy that works best for them. Because, whether you're working a full-time job or part-time job like me, you just don't have the time to go out there and talk to 30 people a day and try and scrounge them up. Right? It takes a lot of hours, and sometimes you're just getting home at 6, 7 o'clock or later, and you just need to have a list of people that are pretty much raising their hand to talk to, so that you can just pick up the phone and call them or shoot them an email and some way to communicate with them. So what I'll have them do is I'll have them go through these trainings, see what marketing strategy works best for them. Maybe they do best on Facebook, or they're great on video, or they like to blog, or maybe they just want to do some paid advertising. And I let them pick what works best and just kind of dive into it and let them generate leads through the method that they choose, rather than trying to force something on them, like they have to write a list and that's the only way to do it. And, if they're still kind of struggling, want more training, then I'll just give them trainings like these where, here's how the number one income earner, notice he's generating 50 leads per day, and he's also the number one income earner, probably a correlation there. He has enough people to talk to, and I'll let them go through these trainings, and I'll teach them different ways to generate more leads. And then once they get to that point, I'll give them another training on how to sponsor, right? Teach them how to recruit more. And this is an 89-minute webinar where he actually goes into his strategies for closing people and how he closed 28 people in 21 days. So it's pretty cool and it's very effective, and can take a person that's closing 1 out of 10 and turn them into closing 2 or 3 out of 10. So they're still doing the same amount of work that they did before, but now they're getting even more results in their business. So it's really a great way to do it. And if you want to access these trainings, I'll leave a link below, and you can go to that link and you can go ahead and get access to it. And I just want to share with you this really cool thing. We had this one guy come into, and he started using the same training system that we use, a marketing system. And his very first day, he generated 65 leads in his first day using a system. And if you look at the bottom, it's all from step 3. Step number 3 was the one that really just kind of opened the door for him. And he just did what was in step number 3, went out there, did it, boom, 65 leads in his first day. So as you can see, no matter where you're at, anything's really possible, and all it comes down to is generating the right amount of leads. And if you get enough leads, then you can build your Vemma business or any other business that you choose to do in the future. It all comes down to the same thing: having enough people to talk to and show them your business. So if you want to learn how to generate more leads and maybe use the same system this guy's using and how it allowed him to generate 65 leads in his first day, all using step number 3, then go ahead, click on the link below, and it'll take you to that system where you can see how he did it. And if you need any help, I'll be there on the other side to help you. So go ahead and click on that link below now, and I'll see you there.